welcome to the Wolfchase Toyota Insider on the Memphis Tiger Network. I'm Jeff Brightwell alongside Richie Grant. And Coach, a couple of games coming up this week. You've got one tonight, in fact, but let's rewind, take a look at last week. You stepped out of conference, which you will tonight as well, but 1-0 loss up at Missouri State in Springfield. You've played them before, and you generally play these Missouri Valley Conference schools, and it is a very tough conference.
Yep, tough conference. It was a decent match, very similar to last year's game when we had the Piggyback Bandit. You remember that game at home last year? And I think last year we got one great chance in the game, and we scored and we won. And we went to 3-0, and they went to 0-3 on the season last year. And this year was the same in terms of how tight the match was. Very strategic game. Both teams not giving up an awful lot of opportunities, so it was very tight, very compact. I thought we had the better of the chances in the first half. Benji had a wonderful strike that the keeper took off a great save. The goalie had 3 very good saves in the match. We didn't have much to do by way of goalkeeper until the shot in extra time. The second half, they picked up the tempo a little bit and put us under a bit more pressure, stopped us from getting into any rhythm with the football, but credit to them. I thought that pressure rattled us a little bit and created some opportunities for them. But then once we got to extra time, we had the first chance. Liam put a great ball in. Stretcher had come on, had a great header inside the 6, and the keeper pulled off another save. And then a couple of minutes later, they got a free kick, which was a bad situation for us, and the lads struck it well. And that's been the story of the season now with extra time. It's been quite difficult to drop some of those games in extra time, but you know, all we can do is get to the next one. Well,
the amount of overtime games, the amount of one-goal games this year has been amazing, what you've had to go through this year with overtime and one-goal games.
Yeah, which is, you know, and to be honest, we're prepared for that because that's just part of the parity of you know, the quality and depth of most of the teams that we're going against. And like you said, Missouri Valley is a very strong league. You know, I think they turned around then and played Bradley, and it was a 1-0 game. Drake, who we beat 5-0 here, you know, tied Creighton. So it's just the Missouri Valley is not unlike Conference USA in that every game when you're fighting for points is competitive. So traditionally our games with Missouri State are very tight, very competitive, and we were just, you know, the difference between being home and away is a big factor in it. You know, I think we're 2-0 in the last couple of years at home against them, and 0-2 on the road against them.
Well, thankfully tonight you're back at home. You've got Central Arkansas coming over from Conway. I believe you played them last year, and you may have played them the last couple of years, and kind of a non-conference match you've had.
Yeah, last year we got out of jail. Mark scored 2 great goals there last year, and we got on the bus and came home as quick as we could. You know, we didn't play great, and you know, it was a middle of the week game, but I think that put us at 10 wins at the time last year, so it was a very important win. This game is huge for us because we had a good weekend off, a little bit of time to train. Worked on some things on the training ground that we felt we kind of reassessed where we were at after the Missouri State game because it was kind of a halfway point. We've 6 conference matches to play here at the end of the season. And we also have a lot more home games. I think we've only been home 3 times so far this year, so we're very encouraged to be back there tonight because it makes a big difference. And 3 home games so far is not an awful lot, you know. So we need to be well prepared for tonight, and it needs to propel us going into the remainder of the conference part of the schedule.
You mentioned about the halfway mark. You had the weekend off. You did some training. You had a chance to sit down really as a program, as a team, and talk about the season so far, the fact that you've been on the road so much. You've played so many close games, so many overtime games. What's the mental state of this team?
Fragile.
Yeah.
You know, and we're trying to remedy that. We really like the group. There's some great kids there, but we're fragile, you know. I mean, when you drop some games in extra time, it leaves your team a little bit maybe uncertain. So it's our responsibility now and our job. And I say this with absolute confidence that we're going to get confidence back in these lads because they're a very good team. It's one of the better teams we've had in a while. We have some really important pieces, particularly down the spine of the team. We have a good amount of experience on the field, lads that have played some big minutes in the past couple of years, and some great young lads that have come into the team. So we're very excited about tonight and the remaining part of the Conference USA schedule. So, you know, that's our job as coaches. We did evaluate it. We did get information to the players. We did some video sessions and said, here's where we're at. Here's what we need to improve. Here's what we need to fix. and here's what we need to maintain going into the second part of the schedule.
I guess what you hope in the second part of the schedule, especially since it's all conference games after tonight, is that as you improve throughout a season, you pick up that momentum. It's usually the teams that are playing very well the second half of the season that make runs in conference tournaments and then get into postseason.
100%. You know, one of the criteria for the NCAA tournament is your form in the last 8 games. It's really important. You know, they look for teams that are peaking at the right time. So our boys are well aware that that's what's in front of us. I think we're one big win away from really propelling the team to where we want to go here at the end. So excited, and the best thing for a footballer is to get back on the field.
Right.
So, you know, Tuesday night game comes at a good time for us.
Well, also you'll play Tulsa Saturday at Mike Rose. I know you're scouting UCA right now for the match tonight, but briefly, we know Tulsa is usually one of the contenders in Conference USA, but as you said, you'll have some home matches here last part of the season.
Yeah, which isn't it nice to have 2 in a week, you know, and I think Tulsa and SMU are flying the flag again in terms of strength of schedule and their winning percentage, and you know, they were a little bit down last year, but he got some lovely footballers there. They play a good brand of football, exciting team. So we'll have some challenges in terms of the way that we have to set up and defend against them. But we had a good result there last year, and like I said, very, very pleased that the game is at home.
All right, well, Coach, we'll get them tonight against UCA, and we'll talk to you next week.
Thank you.
That is Head Coach Richie Grant. I'm Jeff Brightwell for the Wolfchase Toyota Insider on the Memphis Tiger Network.